It's a matchup filled with history. Finland and Russia go head-to-head today in Ostrava, battling for better positioning in a very competitive Group B. It's Russia's high-octane attack.
Fire scores! And Russia wins it 3-2.
Against the Finns' stifling D.
Rene is terrific right now.
Voracek and Jágr put on a show Sunday to knock out the Germans and clinch a spot in the playoff round.
Jágr. Unbelievable.
Now looking to keep the home fans on their feet, the Czech Republic will go head-to-head with Switzerland. Both teams on their way to the quarters as the World Hockey Championship continues now. OMG, we are down to the final two games of round-robin play. Czech Republic, Switzerland, really an inconsequential game at the O2 Arena in Prague. But Jussi Jokinen in Finland taking on Russia. The winner will go to Prague. And the loser will take on Sweden. And Czech Republic and Switzerland. You can see Roman Josi getting ready. They won the silver medal a couple of years ago, Switzerland did, and they will play against the United States in the quarterfinals, which begin Thursday. Hi, everybody. Rod Black along with Dave Reed. Welcome to our continuing coverage. In case you're just joining us, Canada with a big win today, and I say big as in 10 goals, 10-1 over Austria.
Well, they did exactly what they had to do. They had to keep the momentum up. They had to put the hammer down against Austria and get prepared for Belarus. Canada is in great shape coming into the quarterfinal in this tournament.
Yeah, arguably one of their best teams ever, but they have that quarterfinal curse up against them. 5 straight years they've lost, headed to the quarterfinals in those one-and-dones. Canada, 7-0 in the preliminary round. Then you see Norway, Belarus. These games all completed earlier today. Belarus advancing. So they will take on the United States, who won. Jack Eichel got the winner in overtime. In Latvia and France, we're going to show you those highlights later. A relegation game, possibly, that looked like a Stanley Cup final. So in Group B, the U.S. is set. They will cross over to take on Switzerland. Belarus will take on Canada. Russia and Finland aren't sure where they're going. So this game has a lot up for grabs. To call it, Dennis Bayak and Shane Knighty.
It's the big red offensive machine that's known as Russia against perhaps the best defensive team, certainly the best defensive team here, and maybe the best defensive team we've seen in a while.
Well, both these teams, yeah, on opposite ends of the spectrum. You look at Russia, they lead Group B in goals for with 28. And then on the other side, it's Finland leading in goals against with only 7 goals against through the 6 games. And they allowed 5 in that first game, 4 straight shutouts, 2 in their last game. They play really good defensively. But yes, Russia has offense, and it's led by a line that you wouldn't think. It's led by Shapachov along with Panarin and Nadonov.
Key to getting into that defensive system.
Well, they're going to have to find ways to break through and get into that middle area of the ice where the Finland team likes to push it to the outside, keep it out there, and then they have a guy named Pekka Rene to back them up.
And it is an NHL goaltending matchup. Rene for Finland, Sergei Bobrovsky for Russia.
Pekka Rene, if he's not the tournament MVP in goal right now, who is? Because he has a shutout streak that extended into the last game. He has been outstanding. These two teams, though, they have hatred, they have angst, and they have a rivalry.
They have a huge rivalry. Geographically, they're so close. Finland has always felt that Russia is encroached geographically, and in the same on the ice rink. And last year in this tournament, when Russia won 5-2 to win the gold medal over Finland, that is still sour in a lot of the Finnish players' memories. And so they are going to be challenged. You've got Malkin, you've got Tarasenko. This is still not the big red machine. They might be wearing white in this game, but they can still score goals. But Finland has the equalizer in this tournament, as we have seen. Pekka Rene has been outstanding, to say the least, in this tournament. This is going to be a battle. And you know, doesn't matter when they're playing, you know, Finland does not like Russia. Russia thinks it's Finland's little brother, but Finland does not like Russia. They'll be out to win.
You might think that maybe something might be going on, too, because the winner goes on to take on the Czech Republic in Prague. The loser will take on Sweden. So you see what's happening over in Group A. That is all set. Again, the winner finishes second, takes on the Czech Republic. And the Czech Republic are playing Switzerland today, and they'll be watching. And to call that game, Gord Miller and Ray Ferraro.
Ray, the Czechs have the enthusiastic home crowd behind them. Everywhere you look around Prague, there's a Czech sweater. But the question is it translating? Because the Czechs have been kind of up and down so far in the tournament.
I don't know how much it does translate. I mean, when you're rolling along, man, you got momentum and you got noise and everybody feels good about themselves. But they've kind of meandered their way through some games. I don't know if they're a really deep team yet. I don't know if their defense is going to be able to stand up as the competition gets stiffer and stiffer for them, and I think that hurts them a little bit. They spend too much time in their zone, and they don't get the puck to their forwards enough, and that's really hampered them at times. It will be interesting to see, as they'll get a pretty good test from the Swiss, how they defend. What will also be interesting is whether they can get any stops. They got the worst save percentage in the tournament.
And they're playing a Swiss team that really has their number in this tournament and elsewhere. The Swiss have won the last 3 meetings of the World Championship and the last 2 at the Olympic Games.
All right, thank you, guys. The Swiss, of course, have the United States. Will have their highlights coming up. And Team Canada's clobbering of Austria. Jack Eichel was the hero for the Americans as they won their pool. That's coming up next.
The 2015 IIHF World...
Again, the scores in earlier today. Canada walloping Austria 10-1. Belarus beating Norway 3-2. So Belarus will cross over to play Canada in the quarterfinals Thursday. France hangs on, will not be relegated. Austria gets relegated after a win in a shootout, and the United States beating Slovakia 5-4 in overtime. Jack Eichel got the winner. We're going to have highlights of all those games during our intermissions, but let's talk about Canada if we can. Dave Reed. They've looked good. They've looked better seemingly every game. This is pretty much an offensive powerhouse.
And the key to a tournament such as this is progression. You have to get better every game so that when you hit the playoff rounds, the quarterfinals, you're playing at your best. And 10-1 was nice to Austria. Canada is at their best at the right time. Todd McLellan's done a fantastic job.
Yeah, it was a little flattering. In fact, that could have been a lot worse. Here's the brackets now. Canada, Belarus again. That's 10 a.m. Eastern on Thursday. The winner of Russia-Finland has the Czech Republic. That's in Prague. The loser gets Sweden. United States will play Switzerland. That's how it will roll out on Thursday. So still to be determined, the opponent for the Czech Republic and Sweden. Our starting goalies, brought to you by Chevrolet, find new roads.
Starting in Finland, no surprise, Pekkarinen, he kind of got walloped in his first game against the U.S. He allowed 4 goals, was pulled, but then went on that 237-minute 5-second shutout streak. Sergei Bobrovsky in net for Russia, no surprise there. And this is a battle of the Central Division, Winnipeg versus Colorado, or in other words, it's the Czechs versus Swiss. Andrei Pavlik is in for the Czech Republic. Red O'Bara is in for Switzerland.
Jaromir Jagr is not in for the Czech Republic, which is taking his day off. And they're getting ready. We'll send you there to the Czech Republic. Away we go. The final 2 games of the round robin, and then it's off to the playoffs.
On a Tuesday night in Prague, it's the final night of the opening round of the 2015 World Hockey Championship. A thunderous ovation for the host Czech team as they take on the Swiss. And a couple hours away from here in Ostrava, their quarterfinal opponent awaits. It'll be the winner of the game between Finland and Russia. The Swiss know they'll play the United States in Ostrava in their quarterfinal match on Thursday. Jan Hayda looks in for Martinier at this top line of Vladimir Sobotka, along with Jakub Voracek and Martinier going to work. And Voracek plays it back in. The Czechs have not disappointed their home fans. There have been some wild games involving the host team, including their opener, a 6-5 loss to Sweden, a game they trailed for the most part, then led very late, allowed a tying goal in the last minute, and then lost in a shootout.
Real good move by Voracek behind the net. He tapped early. For Voracek, 24 shots in 6 games. He's got 3 goals, and next to this guy, he's probably their most popular player.
A distant second, to be sure. Not sure who in this country is more popular than number 68. Everywhere you go, there are Jagr sweaters, Jagr posters, pictures, you name it.
And just a terrific tournament for him as we look at the 2 coaches. Glenn Hanlon, a little sigh of relief as the Swiss get
to the crossover quarterfinals, and Vladimir Ruzicka, who has been the Czech national coach on and off since 2005. Always seems to be a firestorm around him somewhere.
Well, this year, Ray, he left Slavia Prague, where he'd been basically everything. He was the part owner, he was the president, the general manager, and the coach, but he got in a beef with his co-owners. So he left Slavia at the start of the year, went to Homutov. Slavia got relegated this year in the Czech League. Guess who got promoted? Homutov. And Ruzicka didn't go quietly. Now, you've got a Swiss player taken down just inside the line. That is Rito Shapi is taken down, and the Czechs will get the first penalty of the game as Jakub Nakladl goes off for interference.
Nakladl gets caught standing still at the blue line. Shapi chips it off the boards and goes to jump around him. Here's your favorite song, Gord, the penalty song. Whoa.
That's nasty.
That's a bad hit by Nakladl. He's called for interference as he sticks his knee out. Gosh, that's a bad play. So the Swiss power play, such as it is, 1 for 27 in the tournament, gets the first chance tonight.
And Glenn Hanlon, the Swiss coach, has declined for the most part to put his two big guns on the blue line, Mark Streit and Roman Josi together. Streit to Philadelphia Flyers, Josi from Nashville. But they've been apart almost the entire time on the power play of this tournament. Dennis Hollenstein, number 70, has their only power play goal. Played across by Roman Löffel, who's just into the Swiss lineup. Now straight with the shot, that goes wide.
Now there's lots of ways you get to the World Championship tournament. As Reto Berra tries a long pass. I gotta tell you, when I was on the power play, I hated when goalies did that. They think they're helping, but everybody is going back to their end, and they shoot it the other way. They're not helping. Just leave it. There's Roman, the new player, Roman Löffel. He had been cut, so he went on holidays. He was in Dubai, as you should, and was called back. He's been practicing for 4 or 5 days. Talk about a mindset shift.
Right.
And here he is on the power play, a right-handed shot. They obviously can use some help on the power play, and hope the vacationing Löffels can give it to them.
Maybe he had some good ideas in Dubai, you never know. Long drive knocked away by Andre Pavlik in the Czech goal. Now, meantime, a developing story ongoing for the Swiss Rays. Who's their goaltender going to be in the medal round? It looks like it's going to be Reto Berra, even though Leonardo Giannoni has much better numbers.
They seem to be trying to give the job to Berra. He was just average in the pre-tournament games. He's been just okay, an 86 save percentage. So far, Leonardo Giannoni is over 95%. I mean, different opponents perhaps, but they seem to think Berra's got the higher end. And
now Josi plays it across to Eric Bloom. 25 seconds going this power play. Here's Josi with it, crisscrossing with Bloom, and now Brunner falls with no one near him. Brunner gets it back, Damian Brunner. Centers it, and it's chipped away by Martin Nierat, back out to center ice. Now brought in by Josi, walking into the power play. Josi gets Pavlik down, taking a shot away. And Roman Josi drops it down to Walker, back to Josi. Rolling puck across to Bloom. He shoots. Fiala looking for the tip, and Pavlik knocks that away. And the teams are back to even strength as Nakladl steps out of the box. 2 shots on goal for the Swiss on that power play. Neither really threatened. And now 1 for 28 on the man advantage. Eric Bloom centers it. And Simone Bontman plays that back, and a long shot taken there by Robin Grossman. That deflects wide. Cervenka ahead for Jágr. In comes Jágr across the line. Nifty drop pass there, but Jakub Krejcik falls. And we're going to have a penalty coming against the Swiss. It's going to go against Simone Bontman, I believe. And so the Czechs will get their first power play.
here's the high stick. Whoa, he gets Krejcik right in the helmet. As the Czechs were breaking out of the zone, the Czechs have a dangerous power play. 7 goals on the man advantage in this tournament.
Jágr and Voracek lead the way with 2 each.
Voracek's going to shoot the puck from the right point a lot. Jágr, they get him in front of the net, and he seeps out into the half wall. And Nakladel, 87, can really shoot it. It's a good power play.
Jan Kovac centers it, back goes to Nakladel, feeds across to Voracek, back to Nakladel with a shot, goes off the leg and wide. Timo Helbing got in the way of that. Here's Kovac, back to Nakladel. Has a look, looks across to Voracek. He goes cross ice to Kovac. Jan Kovac looks down to Jágr. Feeds it back to Kovac. Nakladel. Kovac walks in, has a look, shoots. That was just wide. Barrett never saw that. And now Irat back with it. Martin Irat down to Jágr. Loose in the corners, Jan Kovac, who plays for Magnitogorsk in the KHL. Won a league championship with them last season, the year before last, under head coach Mike Keenan. 1 minute to go in this Czech power play. Krejcik. Takes the return pass from Roman Cervenka. Now Krejcik in across the line. Bouncing puck moved ahead by Julian Walker. And Chappie is back on the ice for the Swiss after that knee-on-knee hit earlier. It's bumped off the puck by Andre Nemitz. 35 seconds to go on the power play. Vladimir Sobotka brings it across. In comes Sobotka. Drops it back. Nemitz looks across to Cervenka. Cervenka drops it down. Takes the return pass. Krejcik. Back down to Sobotka. 15 seconds to go on the power play. Crowd getting impatient. And now Tomáš Hertl knocks it down for Cervenka. Cervenka. Cross it goes. Nemitz with a drive. Barrel to save. Rebound loose in front. Sobotka couldn't get a good shot away. And it's fired down the ice by Kevin Romy. And he did that as the penalty expired. It would be an icing call against the Swiss.
Sobotka's going to try and pass this to Cervenka on the rebound. Look at this. He tries to go across to Cervenka. Cervenka would have a wide open net, but a real good read of the play defensively as Kevin Romy intercepts it. But there's a, as we talk about the goaltending question, that's a 55-foot slap shot that hits Red O'Bara right in the glove, and he drops it into the slot. Doesn't really inspire confidence, but obviously Glenn Hanlon, a former goaltender in the National Hockey League, thinks that Barra can give them the best game. We'll see if that's what they go with on Thursday against the U.S.
Barra lost his spot for a while in Colorado. He did win his last start in the NHL at the end of the year, actually head-to-head against Andre Pavlik. He shut out Pavlik's Winnipeg Jets as the Jets were making their late season bid for a playoff spot that they ultimately nailed down. But it was mostly a down year for Barra with the Avalanche.
1 year left on his contract. It signed a 2-year extension when they acquired him 2 trade deadlines ago.
Allenstein centers it. That's picked off and moved up by Martin Zadovic. Chance now for Simone. Centers it. And that shot attempt by Peter Kukal is blocked. And swinging back to pick it up is Eric Bloom. Swiss have had their moments of up and down play in this tournament as well. They were shocked by Austria in their opener. They led the game again almost the entire way, gave up a late tying goal, then lost in a shootout to the Austrians. They also lost back-to-back games in overtime to Latvia and a sweep. The Swedish one was a real bitter pill to swallow, as this man, Morris Traxler, was called for illegally playing a stick back to a teammate, and Philip Forsberg wound up scoring in OT. Chance for Vondrika. Michael Vondrika turned away, just added to this Czech roster. He scored in the first period of his first game back for the Czech national team. Mark Strike centers it, bouncing puck got away from Lofel. Teams are free to add players at any time they want, up to a maximum of 22 skaters. Once you've named 22, you can add no more. The Czechs do have an open roster spot still.
And by example, the Swedes, who added players late, don't have any more roster spots, and they have a couple of defensemen banged up, and it's Stefan Kronwall. And so now they're stuck. They can't add another guy if they'd like to.
Right. Every country does it differently. Some teams put their 22 in right away. Others like to hold a spot just in case.
Now, it's easier for a European team to keep a spot open over here. You know, if you need a player now, if you're the U.S. or Canada, by the time you get him here, he's going to be exhausted anyway.
And the Czechs, of course, going to have a guy here in a cab in 10 minutes. So
I don't think a cab can get anywhere in 10 minutes here.
no, maybe on the train.
These streets were not made for vehicles. Pretty tight.
At least not motorized vehicles. Jumping in is Michael Jordan. He was stripped of the puck there by Rado Suri. Now Suri loses it back to Sabotka. Vladimir Sabotka trying to gather up the bouncing puck, and Suri plays it back out as Michael Jordan of the Carolina Hurricanes goes back. Czechs last won the gold medal in this tournament back in 2010. 9 players from that team are here this year, including Jakub Voracek and Jaromir Jagr. Back goes Kevin Romy for it. Being closely watched there by Dominic Simone. Now Julian Walker centers and Hollenstein goes in. And Pavlik tried to steer that away, but right in the stick of Hollenstein. Hollenstein centering pass goes in behind the goal to Romy. And Romy spins back as Nakladel steps into him. Yuri Novotny. Nakladel knocked away by Hollenstein, and the Czechs are hemmed in here a little bit. Shots are 5-2 in favor of the Czech Republic. Patrick Gehrig. Across to Mark Streit. 5 times the captain of the Swiss national team at the World Championship.
And a couple of laughs before the game as
centering pass goes to Damian Brunner. He's turned away by Pavlik.
he and the Czech captain, Jakub Voracek, shared a laugh or two as they exchanged the gifts at the red line.
Teammates in Philadelphia. And now Streit back on it. Past the midway point of the opening period, still no score. We'll keep an eye on the game in Ostrava for you between Finland and Russia. No score there in the first period as well.
It was actually a score. It's just 0-0. Not that there's no score.
Oh, you're going to be like that, are you? Okay.
I've been here all day.
You have. You're doing your third game. Go right ahead.
I'm entitled to this.
Be as snippy as you want. Well, that middle game turned out to be quite something, didn't it? The Latvia-France game. The only scenario that could knock the Austrians out was a French win after regulation. And that's exactly what happened in a shootout over Latvia. So Latvia and France survive. Austria is relegated.
And the worst part for Austria is France had a breakaway with 10 seconds left.
In regulation.
I mean, that if De Rosier, the player, scores, Austria's okay.
Latvia
they get into the shootout, and De Rosier scored in the shootout. Like, it couldn't have been worse. Latvia was up 2-0. Austria had to be feeling good about themselves. And
now Krajcek brings it in, so Austria, coached by a Canadian, Dan Ratushny, lost 10-1 in the 12-15 game, then sat and watched the only scenario that could unfold to knock them out do exactly that.
And the old elevator up and down for Austria continues.
Yeah, last 6 appearances of the World Championship, they've been relegated. So, pretty good bet to win the B pool this year, as they so often do. A little twist to that, though, for next year. As Bloom brings it in, shoots, Pavlik makes the stop.
Bloom had 2 shots in the tournament coming into today. He's got 2 in the first 12 minutes. He looks like he's way more involved.
Novotny trying to drop that back. Cervenka can't reach it.
And he plays the power play. Maybe that's part of the Swish issue, is that he's the point man on the power play. He had 2 shots in 6 games.
Well, it's not just one thing that goes wrong to go 1 for 28.
No, you've got to get a lot of moving parts for that.
There's Hertl with it back in the corner. Tomáš Hertl drops that down to Kovac. Shoots. Save made by Barrett. He'll pounce on the loose puck and hang on. No goal here in the first period in Prague. 7.5 to go here in the first period in Prague. A day off tomorrow. The World Hockey Championship and the quarterfinals will take place here and in Ostrava. Canada will take on Belarus in the early game here at 4:15 local time, 10:15 a.m. Eastern. The Czechs will be in the 8:15 local slot at 2:15 Eastern. The opponent yet to be determined. It'll be the winner of the Russia-Finland game. If Russia wins that game, you get Czech-Russia and Sweden-Finland in the quarters.
There's something else here.
The Swedes have to go to Ostrava, even though they're the second-place team, because the Czechs, as the host nation, get an automatic game here in Prague. And now, taking down is Tomáš Hertl. A penalty coming to the Swiss as Cody Allman's going to go off. The extra skaters on now for the Czechs as Chaslava brings it in. And now the Swiss touch up, and the penalty call goes against Cody Allman, the Calgary, Alberta native, who plays for Geneva in the Swiss League.
Czechs hold the puck in the zone, and Hertl and Allman fight for position in a pretty nice little move by Hertl to take the puck and spin away. Allman gets his stick into his feet. The Czechs get their second power play.
Here's Nemec back with it. Andre Nemec plays it across to Jakub Krejcik. Krejcik back to Nemec. Hertl stays on the ice, and he's in front of the power play. Krejcik to Nemec, unloads, and look at it, just missed Hertl's head with that shot.
Now you have to have trouble getting guys to stand in front of the net.
Now Nemec fires again and misses high the other way.
You're gonna run out of friends if you keep shooting it up there.
You go stand there for a while if you're gonna shoot like that.
It's funny, you practice this, and you hear in every meeting, net front presence, take the goalie's eyes away. And when you get a couple that go by your shoulders, you really have a little bit of trouble standing in there. Hertl's not going to get right in front of the net if he thinks it's going to come at his shoulder pad. That's when you go have a little chat and say, we can shoot this waist down and it'll probably be as effective.
One of my favorite Chris Pronger moments was when he gave Zdeno Chara tech for shooting high on the power play. Pronger was defending.
Yeah, because Chris was really considerate.
Yes.
When he was shooting it. If you were in the way and he hit you, he just didn't move.
Cervenka plays it down for Saboka. Back to Cervenka. Feeds across to Nemec. Here he comes again. Decides not to shoot this time. Great check. Across to Cervenka. Slides it down to Saboka. Cervenka feeds across. Nemec shoots again. That time it's low and misses wide. And Cervenka back with it. Down to Saboka. Minutes ago in the Czech power play. Krejcik shoots at the fuck in front of a skate.
Great zone time. They haven't got the puck on goal yet. 3 misses by Nemec, and the last shot by Krejcik didn't get there.
Jakub Krejcik, who plays in the Swedish Hockey League for Örebro. 23-year-old. The Czech players are scattered all over Europe and North America, including their captain, Jakub Voracek of the Philadelphia Flyers. In comes Voracek with it. Spins it back to the point. Nakladal to Kovac. Nakladal feeds across to Irat. And now Voracek with it. No Jágr on this power play. They've got Smolnik standing in front instead.
I don't see Jágr on the bench.
And he did leave the warm-up early as well. As Voracek comes in. Oh, what a pad stop by Berra. And the rebound cleared down by Traxler.
He may have played a ceremonial shift. Get him out there for the power play, and the people who came to see get to see. And I mean, there's no need for him to be in this game.
4.5 to go here in the first period. Czech Republic and Switzerland are scoreless.
It's
Finland going on the power play in their game against the Russians. 0-0 the score there as well. That's been a much more tightly grouped top end in Group B, with the United States, Russia, and Finland battling it out for the top spot, being decided on the final day of this World Hockey Championship preliminary round. Slovakia knocked out earlier today as Belarus got into the 4th spot.
Belarus will come here to play Canada.
Coached by Dave Lewis, a Canadian.
Try to figure out how to keep Canada under 7 goals a game, which is where they've averaged in this tournament.
Grossman plays it along the wall. So Jágr not on the Czech bench. And pretty good possibility that Jágr just had that one shift of the power play that you talked about. As walking out is Kevin Fiala with a shot, rebound, foot wide. What a chance in front for Anders Ambuel. Now a penalty coming to the Czechs. How did he miss that? I don't know, Ray, you're the goal scorer. You tell me.
I don't know. The net didn't move. He's right there. He's shaking his head. He can't believe he missed it. Kukal is going to go to the penalty box. So the Swiss will get their second power play of the period. The Czechs are 0 for 2 on theirs. Here's the hook. Right into the hands there of Kukal. And look at Ambuel's got the whole net. He just misses the net. I will say he doesn't know that the goalie's out of the way, so he's turning to fire it at the net. All he had to do was push it into the net.
Vladimir Ruzicka, the head coach of the Czech Republic. He was a team captain for a long time for the Czech national team. In fact, he captained their 1998 Olympic gold medal winning team in Nagano. Now he's coaching one of his teammates from that team, Jaromír Jágr. All right, power play, Doctor.
Back to the point, shooting. Don't even think about it. There's no need to stand on the sidewall like they've done time and time again. And they fiddle around with this puck on the sidewall to the goal line. Nothing ever gets to the net.
Now Brunner tries to bring, he's brought down by Chaslava, and now Switzerland's going to have a long 5-on-3 for 1 minute and 45 seconds as Peter Chaslava gets called for the trip.
So now they get Streit and Josi together here. Good move from Brunner. Outside, inside, Chaslava. Stick gets tied up in his skates. And the one thing I would say on a 5-on-3, if teams fall into a trap, it's they're waiting for the perfect shot before they finally deliver the puck and they just pass it back and forth. Get it to a position, shoot it, and you've got 2 extra men. Go get it. You'll tire the 3 defenders out pretty quickly.
All right, so here's Streit back at the point. Brunner down in the corner. Allman standing in front. Brunner back to Streit, across to Josi. Josi scored 15 times in the NHL this year. Streit had 9 for the back end. Centering pass for Fiala, swept away by Pavlik. Fiala back to Josi, across to Streit. Allman standing in front. Streit down to Brunner. Damian Brunner centers it. Fiala, the shot, scores! Kevin Fiala on the 5-on-3, a power play goal to give the Swiss a 1-0 lead.
Fiala's first goal of the tournament. Takes the pass from Brunner and actually miscues this. As the puck goes back towards the middle of the net, it goes through Ondrej Pavlik's feet. But here's the movement. Streit comes down low. Josi's working in behind. And there you see the Fiala shot that goes back into the middle of the net. Allman goes to the net. Fiala's shot, that's probably going wide until it hits. You can see the laugh of the youngster Fiala. And the Swiss, with their second power play goal of the tournament, lead 1-0.
So 14 seconds into the 5-on-3, the Swiss get 1. Now still on the 5-on-4 for 1.5 minutes. And they'll take Josi off, leave Streit out there, and put Löffel back on. Streit ahead for Surrey. Wieser squeezed off the puck as Surrey goes after it. Anders Ambuel can't get there. Scooped up by Vondrika, who played for Sparta Prague this last year. After playing most of the year for Bratislava in the KHL. Czech Republic used to have a team in the KHL. Left Prague to play this building, but they took a leave of absence this past season. Sergei Mosyakin has scored for Russia, so the Russians had 1-0 on the Finns late in the first period. And again, the winner of that game will face the Czechs in the quarters here in Prague on Thursday night. Bloom down to Fiala. Kevin Fiala still on the power play. Feeds across to Yossi, his long shot. That's deflected by Brunner up and out of play with 12 seconds to go with the man advantage.
Kevin Fiala came over to North America early, about a year earlier than most expected. He scored 11 goals in 33 games for Milwaukee in the American Hockey League, a Nashville Predators first rounder, and they were really impressed with how he played. I saw him play a couple of times, and he's feisty, he's involved, can really scoot. Got a nice future in front of him for sure, and Nashville's sitting with another good prospect over here that is impressed. That Philip Forsberg has just been phenomenal for the Swedes.
Does he still qualify as a prospect?
You're always a prospect till you're not, till you're like mid-25, and they don't, then you kind of are what you are. Right now, I guess there still is growth for Forsberg, but my goodness, he's a dangerous player.
And now Yossi works his way in, and we got 2 men on the ice against the Czechs.
Pashlava is coming to the player's box after serving his penalty. Kovash jumps on the ice. They were both on the ice for a couple of seconds. Watch right at the boards. Kovash jumps. Pashlava turns around. That's enough.
There's number 25. And the Swiss will go back on the power play late in this period. Fiala's an interesting story, though, Ray. Began the year in the Swedish Hockey League. He's been very good. Played in the Swedish League as a 16-year-old in their men's league. And as you mentioned, a good start with Milwaukee, 11 goals in 33 games. Got called up for 1 regular season game and 1 playoff game for Nashville as well. Brunner shoots. Pavlik save. Rebound loose in front. Pavlik gets the pad down. Takes that away from Ullman. Now Fiala back with it. Centers it. Bloom drops it back. Yossi a drive, and Pavlik through the traffic. Knocked that away. Back come the Czech, short-handed. Yuri Novotny in, and Yossi stripped him of the puck. Novotny stays with it. Now brought back by Yossi inside a minute to go in the first period. Yossi plays it across to Fiala. Yossi has a look. Feeds across to Brunner. Damian Brunner has a lane. Shoots. It's blocked out. Brunner gets it right back and hammers it wide. Vondrika bumped his man off the puck, and away he comes with it. Michael Vondrika short-handed in on Cody Ullman. Ullman gives him the business. Crowd wants a penalty there. And Shaslov back to pick it up in the final seconds of the period. Kukal fans on that shoot-in. The horn, it's fired wide by Ambul, and the Swiss will have 38 seconds of power play time to carry over into the second period, leading 1-0 on the 5-on-3 goal by Kevin Fiala.
I can say
Redo Berra, not a lot of goals so far. And to start this period, Jan Kovash will serve the last 38 seconds of his penalty. Jaromir Jagr, by the way, in that opening period, took 2 shifts for 1 minute and 55 seconds and then left. We don't think anything's amiss with Jagr physically. Probably just a good PR gesture by the Czechs to send him out for a twirl for the home fans and then rest him for the quarterfinals on Thursday. Canada's Sidney Crosby sat out the entire game against Austria earlier today.
He's not on the bench now. He's clearly done for the night.
But as always with Jagr, there's always a shadow of a doubt what might be going on, but pretty sure he's fine. He looked fine in the warm-up, and actually a nice gesture by the Czechs, assuming that's what they did, to allow the home fans to get who paid for tickets for this game tonight to get a quick glimpse of him.
It makes no sense that if he was at all under the weather or at all banged up that he would have even been here tonight.
And nothing happened to him in the game. So.
No. So
Fiala comes streaking in final seconds of the Swiss power play. And now Kovac steps out for the Czech. So the only Swiss power play goal has been scored in a 5-on-3. Cervenka ahead for Kovac. Kovac works in his shot off a skate wide and knocked away by Berra. Poke back to Eric Bloom. Knocked ahead to Matthias Bieber, and that's steered wide by Pavlik. Cody Allman back on it. Allman, a former Minnesota draft pick. Spent 4 years with the Kelowna Rockets in the Western Hockey League. That's part of the story for the Czechs. As the turnover goes to Ambuel, who misses again, and Andres Ambuel. Either that's got to move a bit to the side, get bigger, or he's got to fix the radar.
He's got to fix the radar. He's missed it the same spot twice from about the same spot.
Talking to the legendary Slava Leonard, the Czech GM prior to the tournament. One thing the Czechs have really focused on in the last several years is developing their players at home, a full-time national junior team program to keep their players in the Czech Extra League. In a 12-year period from 2000 to 2012, nearly 600 Czech teenagers left the country to play elsewhere, mostly major junior hockey in the CHL. Tomáš Hertl comes in, shoots, save made by Berra, and he'll gobble up the rebound.
There's one of the players that stayed home. Tomáš Hertl had an excellent rookie season until he was hurt. Knee injury, and then came back at the very tail end. A little bit of a step back in year 2 for Hertl. 13 goals this year, but he can really skate, really shoot the puck, and got good size. He's certainly a key component of the San Jose Sharks moving forward as they move from one era to the next.
The attempted rebuild on the fly in San Jose. There's Peter Kukal with it. Back at the point to the Claddle. And that long shot taken by Jan Kovac is gloved by Berra.
Giveaway by the Swiss, and Kolash's shot is caught by Berra. The 6'4" Berra we talked about has had some pretty shaky numbers here at the tournament. He's given up 13 goals on 92 shots coming into tonight. He gets moving around in the net. He's a big guy. He leaves lots of gaps in what should be a pretty square blocking area. That's where he tends to get into trouble.
Sobotka was taken in hard there by Josi. And now Josi takes that pass at center ice, drops it off for Fiala. Fiala back for Josi, and it goes down to Pavlik. And going on to that is Fiala is jousting in front of the goal with Chaslova.
Well, he'll do that. He'll get involved, and really good player is Fiala. And, you know, you look at the Swiss, and they didn't get Nino Niederreiter. They kept the spot open for him as long as they could. He would really help them out a lot because the Swiss have always been a defense and goal-oriented country. That's where their strengths are. They don't score a whole lot.
Now Cervenka centers it, picked off by Ambuel. Andres Ambuel playing in his 12th World Championship for the Swiss. Works it, shoots, he missed wide.
It's not a surprise right now.
Matthias Bieber on it now, loose in the corner. Knocked ahead by Shimon from Novotny. He was taken down. Now brought in by Krejcik. He lost it. Bodenman lead pass to Ambuel, and he comes. Ambuel shoots. It's right on. And the save made by Pavlik. Back the other way comes Novotny. Yuri Novotny winds in, shoots from a sharp angle. Berra makes the stop. Lifted up by Surrey, and back to pick it up is Nakladel. Surrey works it on Nakladel, walks around him and shoots. Knocked down by Pavlik. The rebound cleared away by Nakladel.
Nice move by Surrey to get into a spot to shoot it. He's had a good tournament, just has one goal, but he's been very noticeable, an energetic player. He's going to have to leave the ice as he lost his helmet. So the Czechs have an advantage here.
Worked around, and McCladel with a shot that goes off and stick in wide. Played back by Kolash. At the point, McCladel winds and fires. He hammered that wide. McCladel got a more prominent spot on this Czech team when Marek Zidlitsky was injured for Detroit. The Czechs were holding a spot for Zidlitsky, but he couldn't come as Hertl comes in. That's poked away. So McCladel got the chance, and he's taking advantage of it.
He's done a nice job. He really has defended pretty well. He can shoot the puck. He's on that first power play unit with Jagr and Voracek.
Icing waved off as going back was Grossman. And now Hollenstein fires it down in the Czech zone. Kolash was taken down. Tried to sell that a bit, and no penalty coming to Damien Brunner. And the crowd whistles its disapproval. Grossman snaps it ahead. Kolash knocked it down, and Cody Allman winds in for Grossman. Grossman shoots, that goes just wide. At the line, held by Brunner. Damien Brunner's shot deflected away. Cody Allman back on it. Down to Rito Shappy. Shappy plays it down for Gehring. Got bumped in the corner. Gehring leaves it there for Brunner. And now Brunner's lost his stick, and the puck back down to the Swiss zone where Streit picks it up. Draxler knocks that down in front of the Czech bench. Now Streit back on it. Back up to center ice. Fiala. What a move by Kevin Fiala. And for Draxler. Draxler in, shoots, Pavlik save, rebound, fire right on, and the rebound by Shappy is turned away by Pavlik. Good pressure here by the Swiss. And Saboka drops it back for McCladel. Lead pass for Erat. Martin Erat lines in, a centering pass, Saboka in, poke check by Barrow, loose puck in front. And Fiala has it back the other way for Switzerland. Along with Dino Wieser, Fiala goes behind his back again.
That's a little Harlem Globetrotter-ish. He tries that from time to time. He's going to have to lose that because it's just not effective. Looks great, but nobody ever moves on it.
Josie flips it in as the Czech crowd encourages the home side. Andre Nemitz up ahead for Radek Smolanek. And here's Timo Helbling back with it. Former Nashville Predators draft pick who spent 6 years in North America. Helbling fires it in. In comes Novotny. Along with Cervenka. Novotny buying some time as the Czechs are changing. Spins back in the corner. Feeds it back to Jan Hejda. A long wrist shot that hit Helbling and went wide. Abdul on it now. To the line but not out. Novotny's got his feet. Smolanek trying to pick it out. And Bodeman finally tips it back out to center ice. Even 11 apiece here in the second period. And it's fired in by Kukal. Down for Helbling. He left it there. Beaver trying to chip it out. And now Helbling plays it hard across. Hejda holds the line, walks, tried to shoot at a stick lifted. And that shot by Zanovic goes wide. It's loose back in front to the point it goes. Krejcik in, shoots, saved by Barrow. Rebound loose in front. Puck still loose. Kukal reaching for it, and finally Reto Berra able to pounce on it. 1-0 Switzerland leads here in the second period.
Stop.
1-0 Switzerland ahead here in Prague, in Ostrava. Russia leading 1-0 on Finland in the second period. Leo Komarov got a 5-minute major in game misconduct for kneeing Evgeny Malkin. It did not appear as though he did it.
No, he didn't. It was a terrible call.
So the Finns killed off that 5-minute power play. It's still 1-0.
When you look at the replay of the play, you can't even believe that there was a penalty period. Somehow Komarov was given a 5-minute major.
McCladel's stick explodes on him. The lead pass goes to Brunner. In along the breakaway. Brunner backhand shot stopped by Pavlik.
Well, if the Swiss are going to get a guy on the breakaway, that would be the one they choose. And McCladel's stick exploded and it opened up the breakaway for Damien Brunner.
Now Hollenstein brings it in. Hollenstein shoots. Pavlik makes the stop on that. No rebound, and Brunner took a late whack there at the Czech netminder, and that draws some attention. there. The penalty coming. Slashing's going to be the call against Brunner. He's hot now. Brunner's really coming unglued here. And he'll want to be careful he doesn't get more. It was the late lack on Pavlik. I think that's the penalty, right?
Here it is, and here's the breakaway. Nice pass by Gearing to Brunner. He wants to go 5-hole. Pavlik shuts that down. And then Brunner's going to come to the slot on Hollenstein's shot. That's the penalty. It's a really, really weak call. He didn't even slash at the gloves. However, they call it, and they call it consistently here. I just don't think that's a penalty, but nonetheless, the Czechs have a chance to get back in the game, down 1-0.
Here's Ambiel with a chance now, shorthanded, a backhand shot. And Ambiel's got a shorthanded goal in this tournament. Back they come the other way. Vondrika centers it. And that pass goes off a stick, up and out of play.
Well, Nemitz was tapping his stick. He was wide open in the slot. Vondrika went across. It was deflected away. And you see Nemitz, who's had a really good tournament. He had a couple of goals against the French, a goal the next night against Austria, and a big cheer in the building for Dominik Hasek.
You know, we were talking to some Czech hockey folks the other day about the sort of pantheon of great Czech players. It's Hasek and Jágr are the top two, but Jágr remains the mythical figure.
Yeah, just watching the way the fans react to him when he touches the puck or gets involved in a rush, it's pretty incredible.
Dominik Hasek will be inducted into the IIHF Hall of Fame on Sunday. Robert Reichel, Scott Niedermayer, Maria Root, the great Swiss female player, also going in. Jakub Voracek on the power play, fires, and Berra didn't see that. It went just wide. Now Irat back with it. Looking back for Voracek, tipped by Allman, but not out. And Voracek back with it. In the Claddle. Trying to find a lane. He shoots. That's blocked by Kevin Romy. Romy pokes it out. His stick is broken. He knows it. And he heads off the ice. And McClellan, long pass for Voracek. 40 seconds to go on the power play. Rick Winey goes for Irat. And the Czechs should throw it around with man advantage. Can't they, Ray?
They zip it side to side.
Kovac to Voracek. Just missed.
They want to move the penalty killers such a long distance.
Elbling blocked that shot from Voracek. Now Sobotka winds in. He shoots. Save made by Berra. The rebound cleared away by Julian Walker.
And then you see just a simple wrist shot by Sobotka turns into a dangerous chance. A lot of times you move it and it looks great, but something simple is the most effective play.
Final second of this Czech power play. Sobotka has it. Ahead for Cervenka. Roman Cervenka, rink wide, knocked down by Vondrika. Vondrika working in behind the goal. Sinners and Hayda couldn't get a good shot on that. It's gloved by Berra as the penalty expires. And the teams are back to 5-on-5.
Vondrika was added late in the tournament. This is just his second game as Damian Brunner wants to find out exactly what the penalty was for. He still can't believe it. Glenn Hanlon's hair is going to get redder as he gets hotter and hotter behind the Swiss bench.
Alexander Barkov has scored for Finland. It's 1-1 there in the second period. So the Finns survive a 5-minute Russian power play. And then Barkov scores the man advantage.
What a turn of events. The Finns, of course, riding the spectacular goaltending of Pekka Rinne.
Dominic Simone loose in the corner with it now. And Simone Bodenman has it. Rink Winey goes for Matthias Bieber. Bieber a long shot, gloved by Pavlik. Hang on to that, and again a crowd gathers in front of the creases. Bodenman went looking for the loose puck, and Jan Hayda gives him a push.
Anfield's one of the feistier Swiss forwards. We get a look at Bieber, the only Swiss player with 2 goals in the tournament. Swiss have scored 3 goals twice in their shootout loss to Austria and a 3-1 win over France. And they lost to Canada 5-2, but it's a bunch of 1-goal performances for them.
Surrey back with it. Now played rink wide for Rossi. Roman Josi with a shot. The rebound bounces around in front. And moved across there by Smolenic. Smolenic trying to find Cervenka. He's got it now in the corner. And Cervenka gets loose as Bloom steps into him. Now Novotny comes in to help out. And racing in is Nemetz from the point. Andre Nemetz. Oh, big cross check there by Josi. And that's going to be a penalty against Switzerland's Roman Josi. Not much doubt about that one.
Different than when a player turns his back at the last moment. There was plenty of time for Josi to do something different. If he wants to get his hands on his stick like that, if he just drives his legs forward, you don't extend your arms and they don't call it. That was well worth the 2 minutes for Josi.
So the Czechs are back on the power play now. Kovac to Sobotka, back for Nekladel at the point. Feeds it across to Voracek.
Sobotka in the Yager spot, right in front of the net.
Here comes Voracek with it, has a lane, but plays it across. Nekladel to Voracek. Fires just wide of the goal as Sobotka was screening Guido Berra. Now Grossman on it, but he lost the puck to Irak. In the corner for Sobotka. 6 players in there on the loose puck. They kick it around. Poke free for Kovac. Rink wide, he goes for Voracek. Wade sends it right back in front through the feet of Irak. It was a lone back door. Kovac back with it for Nekladel. Back to Kovac. Kovac lifts that off the inboards. Finds Irak. Kovac. Nekladel winds and shoots, hit a leg in front. That hobbled Sobotka, who's standing in front. Nekladel across to Voracek. Feeds across to Kovac. Voracek waits, shoots, missed short side. Kovac racing to it, can't get there, and the puck comes out.
The puck stuck on Voracek. He went to pull it and shoot it, and then it wasn't in the right place, and he ended up funneling it wide.
Michael Jordan walks it and shoots, and Berra fights that off and knocks it away.
Berra rewarding Glenn Hanlon for the opportunity to start here. He's been good tonight.
Here's Jordan back with it. 30 seconds to go in the power play. Takes the return pass from Nekladel. Jordan drops it down. Takes the return pass from Cervenka. Now Kovac with a hard drive, and Berra makes the stop on that shot from about 15 feet out.
Kovac has been in that left circle the whole power play. And eventually, Jordan gets into the slot. He misfires. Berra reads the play and gets right across to make the stop. Reto Berra's been good. He's made a couple of really good stops in tight in particular in this period. "33 minutes in, it's 1-0 Swiss.
We mentioned the Swiss have won the last 3 World Championship games against the Czechs. The last game was a quarterfinal meeting in 2013, won by the Swiss 2-1. En route to their gold medal game appearance, which they lost to the host Swedes. That silver medal for Switzerland was their first medal in 60 years at the World Championship. Mark Streit on it. Stripped of the puck. And now Streit trying to get it by Vondrika. Held by Nemetz. A long shot tipped in front by Cervenka. And then dropped right down in front of Berra. And Nemetz swings back for it. Now drop back for Tomáš Hertl. Long lead pass goes to Kukal. Peter Kukal winds in, shoots. Berra makes the glove save, and he'll hang on. The Swiss continue to lead 1-0 here in the second period. Switzerland leading here, and Ostrava still 1-1 to the Finns and the Russians. They're about 5 minutes behind this game after having to sort out the Leo Komarov 5-minute major in game misconduct. Finns were highly displeased with that call, to say the least. Cody Allman picks it out, throws that rink wide, and slides right down onto Pavlik, who leaves it back for Chaslova. Now a race for it. Kukoc busting in. Peter Kukoc gets there first, spins back in the corner. Leaves it there for Simone. Dominic Simone in, shoots. It's off a stick. Up and out of play. Craig Button somewhat surprised, very sorry that Dominic Simone wasn't drafted last year.
I've liked him in this tournament. He's a 20-year-old forward. He's not especially big, just about 175 pounds, but he skates well. He's been aggressive. Has points in 5 of the 6 games. I've liked him on their fourth line. He's been a nice balance to a real veteran-laden club.
Now Romy shown out of the face-off circle, so Sobotka, who's been terrific on draws for the Czechs in the tournament, faces off against Walker. Walker wins that one. Back to Gehring. Martin Erat trying to center it, gets it back. And Jan Hayda's shot goes high off the end glass. First sustained period of 5-on-5 play we've had in a while. A lot of power plays in the game. As Walker fires it down, Pavlik makes the pad stop. Hayda in a battle there with Romy. They tie each other up. Romy picks up the loose puck. Drops it back. Helbling throws it back in the corner. And Krejcik waiting for it. 4.5 to go here in the second period. Swiss have scored 5 goals in their last 4 games. 6 and 5 if you count this one. Their only win in that string, 1-0 against Germany. They scored with less than 8 minutes to go in the third period to win that one 1-0.
One of their only power play goals of the tournament.
The other coming here tonight.
And they've got a power play goal tonight and another 1-0 lead.
Fiala, look ahead for Shappy. That plays offside at the Czech line.
Kevin Fiala scored on the 5-on-3 in the first period. Damian Brunner and Mark Streit had the helpers.
There is Slava Leonard, GM of the Czech team, a legend in these parts. He and Vladimir Ruzicka, they call Leonard the Ruzicka Whisperer. He seems to be able to calm his coach down. Ruzicka, known as Rosie when he played in North America in the NHL, was not really known for being that hot-tempered, but since going behind the bench in a suit, there are legendary stories about him.
He was known for shooting the puck, not taking very many strides, and driving his car really fast.
Yes. They must have really restrictive speed limits in the Czech Republic, because when the guys come over, the first thing you do is rip it up on the roads. Now striking a long shot, kicked out by Pavlik through the traffic. Good stop by Pavlik. And Cervenka back the other way. Roman Cervenka in 1-on-3, got spun around. And Cervenka fans on that. Smolina down for Novotny. Novotny falls, no penalty coming there. Ambuel tied up there by Smolina. Ambuel comes in hard, lost his stick. And way up at the offensive blue line, Kovac has it. Jan Kovac trying to wind in. And Bloom took that away from him. Now Bloom taken down. That's going to be a penalty against Kovac for the Czechs. A holding call will send the Swiss to a late power play here in the second period.
Not a great penalty for Kovac to take. The real challenge to the puck was finished as Bloom had moved the puck away and Kovac just wrestled him to the ground. Gordon, I was just thinking about the Swiss and as they move into their quarterfinal crossover against the U.S. and they've started to play better as the tournament's gone on. They don't give up a lot, and they're the type of team in a quarterfinal that can stink somebody.
Right, and they've done it over the years. They have.
That quarterfinal game is so much about your matchup and on the particular day how everybody plays, but they're going to be a tough out for the U.S.
Runner feeds across to Yossi. They had a working power play. You'd like it even more. Yossi feeds it down. Fiala back to Yossi. Drops it back. Fiala drive. Pavlik save rebound. And that's blocked in front by Jordan. Or Brunner had a wide open net. And now the shot by Yossi to flex high. And the Swiss came close there.
Sometimes you wonder why a power play struggles. Look how simple this is. They move it 2 or 3 times. Fiala gets the shot. There's traffic in front of the net. And there's Brunner with a rebound. Now a fabulous block by Mikhail Jordan that slides across open net to take it away. But for the Swiss, they should show that clip 100 times in their locker room. Pass, pass, shot. Traffic in front. Then you can work something down low. If you just stand and wait for the nice play, you're going to stand there to the tune of 1 for 27 coming into today.
I'm going to say this with due respect, Greg. If some coach showed you the same clip 100 times over again, you would lose your mind at about 50.
I'd say I got the point. Because clearly they don't have the point. Like, this could be crucial for them.
Right. In comes Brunner, feeds across to Fiala. Has a look, walks it in, shoots, and Pavlik makes the stop.
Really good move, really good shot, but the traffic's late to get there. But this is a better looking power play because it's much simpler. There's not a lot happening away from the puck. Brunner's got it to Fiala. He could shoot it here, but he's waiting for the traffic. The forward in front of the net opens up for the pass. If Allman would have gone in front of Pavlik, Fiala would have shot it right away.
Talking to Sean Simpson, who's been doing some work for us here at this tournament, former coach of the Swiss national team. He said the mantra over and over again has been get to the net. Get pucks to the net, get people to the net.
See, when you're out there, you think you're open a lot of times when really you might be open, but it's not a scoring chance. If you get yourself to the front, the scoring chance isn't even apparent yet, but it's going to come. It's going to be on a rebound. It's going to be on a broken pass.
The old saying, if you want bread, go to a bakery. You want money, go to a bank. You want goals, go to the net.
Right in front of that blue crease. You guys made a living on it. Thomas Holmstrom never moved 7 feet from that spot.
And comes straight with a drive, and that was off the stick of Cervenka and rolled just wide. And now Surrey trying to hold it in a race for it. Cervenka in on strike. Strike's been out there a while in the power play. Novotny comes off the bench. Final seconds now, the Kovacs penalty. Now he's out. And with a minute to go in the second period, it's back to 5-on-5. Surrey ahead to Lofel. And Surrey banks it off the end boards. That loose puck bounced just away from Matthias Bieber.
If the Czechs are happy about anything tonight, it should be that Ondrej Pavlik has played a very good game in goal as well. The goaltending tonight has been excellent, both ends of the ice. And talking again about that net front guy, bring up Thomas Holmstrom as a reason to bring up him is that you hear all the time, well, get a guy to stand in front of the net, but there's a real skill to it. You can stand there, but it doesn't mean you're in the proper position. Holmstrom was brilliant at screening at the right time. His ability to go retrieve the puck was exceptional, and he had pretty good hands. Better hands than people gave him credit for. Now, you didn't want him carrying the puck in,
no,
but around the front of the net, he could make a move and score.
He was also as tough as a $2 steak. He took the punishment in there. Now the wraparound try poked away from Voracek. It's a skill, and there's some pain involved too, right?
It's a skill and a desire to be in there because it's not easy.
Traxler drops it back to Helbling. He throws it around with 10 seconds to go now in the period. Voracek stepped into Grossman. And now Boatman has it back, and the Swiss will leave the second period as they left the first with a 1-0 lead on the final day of opening round competition at the 2015 World Hockey Championship. Red O'Bara has stopped all 18 shots he's faced so far. Ondrej Pavlik has allowed 1 goal for the Czechs. 1-0 Switzerland leads after 40 minutes of play. And the Swiss, as you mentioned, Ray, have kind of settled in a bit here. Their game against Sweden, they actually played quite well. They lost that game 2-1 in overtime with a dubious penalty that was called for playing a stick back to a teammate that led to the overtime goal. And we've seen this movie from Switzerland for a long time.
But it's almost like they don't try to get the second one where they could really give themselves, yes, more space, but more room to navigate around the ice if you can find a way to get a second goal. But they're so content to play the game like this.
Funny thing is their league is known for being pretty wide open. Backhand shot taken there by Bieber, turned away by Pavlik. HC Davos won the Swiss League this year. Davos, of course, hosts the Spengler Cup every year. And there are 4 members of that Davos squad on the Swiss roster, including tonight's backup goaltender, Leonardo Giannoni. But it does appear as though Redo Berra is going to get the call to start the quarterfinals for the Swiss.
Well, he's certainly not hurt himself so far.
No, here at bottled up there by Damien Brunner. And fired back down to the Swiss zone. Switzerland 10th last year. Swiss in their 18th consecutive year in the A pool at the World Championship. There have been some close scares of relegation, but the Swiss have become pretty much a fixture here.
They've got good players. They play a good structure. They have good goaltending. The next steps to develop the offense, and maybe it's Niederreiter, maybe it's Fiala, but that's where they can take a next jump to really scare teams. They check. It would be nice to have somebody check them. The game changes when it's like that.
Of course, the Swiss in 2006 took down a couple of powerhouses in Canada and the Czech Republic in the Torino games. In comes Vonderka with a quick shot. Berra knocks that away. Vonderka back on in the corner. Shovels it back there, picked up by Timo Helbling. So much easier to defend on the big ice surface, though, and for fans in North America who want to see the NHL go to the 200 by 100 foot international ice surface, you would see, I would think, far more defensive hockey than you see now.
The only advantage to it, to me, is that there's less contact. There's less really big hits. That's the only advantage, because it'll turn into a soccer match more often than not, where it just becomes tactical. You move the puck around. The teams defend. They get inside the circles. It doesn't matter how wide the rink is. That rink or that ice is useless. It's not dangerous. Good work by Bieber, who's got 2 goals. The only 2-goal scorer for the Swiss, and Pavlik squeezes up against the post.
The tying goal late against Latvia in that overtime loss. Now Fiala gets loose behind the goal. Kevin Fiala back with it. Works it back and shoots. Goes off the leg of Nicladel and wide. Fiala has maybe more flair than we've seen from any Swiss player in a while. A little dash of attitude. Some skill.
He's got that, and he's got the want to score, not the hope to score, or it would be nice to score. He wants to score.
Zanovic works in and shoots. That's off the stick of Bloom and up and out.
Let me clarify that. Lots of guys want to score, and they can. A lot of guys just wait for the chance to come. Others go make the chance. And that's what Fiala can do.
The need to score.
Oh, that's what a player like Kevin Fiala plays the game for. That's what I played the game for. I didn't play it to win a face-off. I played it to score a goal.
It's funny how much goal scoring can be disparaged sometimes. Oh, he's just a goal scorer. Well, that's what they keep track of.
Well, you know, Gord, the phrase that drives me up the walls is everybody's looking for a 200-foot player. Well, that's fine. There's about 7 of those in the NHL. What I'm looking for is a 60-foot player, somebody that can finish, somebody that's willing to do difficult things to score a goal, get into traffic, find a way to score.
Now Voracek taken down, and a penalty coming to Switzerland. Gehring will go off And so the Czechs will get a power play here, 3 minutes and 45 seconds into the third period.
I get the feeling people would have said Mike Bossy's not a 200-foot player. He only got 50 goals 9 years in a row. Real good work by Jakub Voracek. He gets pulled down. So the Czech power play that's had a couple of dangerous moments, but hasn't been able to match the Swiss first period 5-on-3 goal.
Just about to start the third period in Ostrava with Finland and Russia tied at 1.
That game will determine who the crossover opponents are.
Czechs will get the winner of that game. The Swedes will get the loser. So on the power play, Irat down to Hurdle. And Martin Irat winds in as the time. Novotny standing in front. Irat trying to play that across. They'll get the shot away. Stopped by Berra. Rebound. Hurdle stopped by Berra. And back at the point, here's Jordan with it. Michael Jordan. Across to Krejcik. Back to Jordan. Walks in and shoots. Hit Novotny in the leg. And now Novotny on his knees trying to center it. Picked up by Hurdle. He finds Irat. Centers it. That bounces back to Jordan. From Krejcik, Jordan. Slides a rink wide to Irat. His wrist shot goes off a leg and wide as Abdul got in the way. Krejcik for Hurdle. Walks in and shoots, and the blocker of Berra knocks that away. Now Jordan back with it. Feeds it across. Krejcik with a bullet shot that goes wide. And the rebound fired down the ice by Timo Helbling. Akladal. Back for Kolash to Voracek, who rings it wide. 35 seconds to go on the power play, and a bouncing puck in front. Bloom can't get to it. A mad scramble. In comes Kolash with a drive. Bodies flying everywhere. That went wide. And it's back down to the Czech zone. Kolash to Akladal. Akladal rings it around. Kolash back on it. And a mighty swing taken there by Walker, but he can't knock it out. And now it's fed down the ice by Bloom. And that's going to do it for the remainder of this Czech power play. As Gehring steps back on the ice. Voracek winds his way in. 2 shots for the Czechs in that power play, both in the first 10 seconds of the man advantage. Helbling with it now. And Timo Helbling drops it back. Hollenstein with it. Or so Swiss fans try to start chanting, and the 16,000 Czech fans drown them out. As Pavlik knocked that away, and Dominic Simone back to pick it up. And now loose in the corner, Hollenstein gets bumped there by Nemitz. Kicks it around for Brunner. He falls in front of Kovac. Now Hollenstein back with it. Just getting back to his feet is Brunner. He and Hollenstein crisscross. And back at the point it goes for Bloom. Comes walking in. Bloom with a shot. It pinballs around in front. Kovac has it. Oh, all the way off to the races was Vondrika. And the pass didn't quite get to him. Now Kovac back with it. Steps around Bloom. He's got Vondrika with him. Kovac centers it. And Vondrika couldn't quite reach it in the high slot. Surrey has it. And Rito Surrey brings it back out to center ice. Has to regroup. Jordan comes in for it. Michael Jordan has his pass blocked. And now skipped ahead by Walker. Swiss are changing as Walker breaks in. He tries to buy some time. And does so successfully. Walker drops it off for Gehring. Gehring centers it to pass out of the reach of Walker. Kevin Romy on it. Plays it back at the point for Streit. Brings it around. Walker's been out there a while. And Walker drops it off for Streit. Mark Streit works it back to Walker. In he comes. He shoots. That was blocked as Kukal got in the way. And now Zadovic. Late pass for Kukal. That's knocked down. And Gehring Flips it back out to center. 12 to go in the period.
I'm sorry, Gord. Excellent shift for the Swiss. And part of it was that Mark Streit got into the play. There was some aggressiveness to the way they played that shift. And the Czechs are hemmed back.
Nakladal, a hard shot, goes off the skate of Irat and wide. Now Hurdle in a battle with Grossman in the corner. The Swiss win the battle for the puck, but now it's kept in for the moment. Finally played across to Gehring. And Gehring flips it softly down to the Czech zone. And a long lead pass goes to Irat with Hurdle. Tomáš Hurdle in, centers it. And the bouncing puck got away from Novotny. Now Koláš back on it, walks in and shoots. That's blocked. As Traxler got in the way, Irat fires. That's blocked.
Helbling 2 blocks in about 5 seconds.
In comes Nakladal, winds and fires, and that might have got a piece of Helbling as it goes up and out of play. And the Swiss continue to lead 1-0.
It's
11-12 to go in the third period. The Swiss are making a 1-goal lead set up so far from midway through the first period. Saboka wins the drop back to Chaslova. Voracek tries to center it. Now teed up by Krejcik, will put that high and wide. Matthias Bieber takes a whack at it, knocked down by Chervenko, keeps it alive. And Bloom back for it. Now a centering pass just missed by Chervenko. When you say the game can become like a soccer game, Ray, they all sound like one. As Josi comes winding in, Hollenstein a shot. Allman digging for it. Now Hollenstein back on it. The sights and sounds of this World Championship have been something to behold.
It has been a terrific tournament. It has been fun. And the best hockey is about to start.
Long shot on Pavlik. Off the stick of Streit is stopped.
Mark Streit had a slow start to the tournament. He plays so many minutes here that it seems at times he really holds as to when he's going to make an impact on the game, but they need him to be part of the offense. As you see, Vladimir Ruzicka looking for a goal somewhere, and Glenn Hanlon hoping his team can hold on.
The funny thing is, Ray, and you pointed this out, that the Swiss so rarely have a defenseman jump into the play, but Streit does it all the time in Philadelphia.
And then when he comes here, it changes.
Josi does it all the time in Nashville.
But it's a conservative approach, and it doesn't change.
Simone works in and shoots. Pad saved by Barra. Loose puck in front. And Kevin Romey cleans up the rebound and flips it back to center ice.
It's a terrific stop.
And now Simone back with it. And Vondrika can't hold the line. Past the midway point now, the third period. Jordan to Vondrika. Michael Vondrika taken down in the corner. And Kováš has it back for the Czechs. Jan Kováš winds his way in, 1-on-5. Oh. What a move. He's finally knocked down by Helbling. The Czechs were changing. His nearest teammate was 80 feet away. And now Kováš centers a penalty and goal. He score! Zadovic, the tying goal. What a shift for Jan Kováš.
Zadovic's fourth of the tournament. You mentioned, Gord, that Kováš was the only player on the offensive side of the red line when the Czechs entered the zone. Everyone else was changing, and he went into a stick handling clinic to hold the puck. Zadovic's shot flips end over end and turns out to be a perfect shot. And the Czechs are on the board. The building comes alive.
And you can see the overhead camera vibrating in the scoreboard from the noise of the fans stomping and clapping and singing and drumming. backhands it down wide of the Czech goal. Čáslava rings it around. Crackler shoots. That's knocked away by Nemitz. Bloom with a hard shot, bouncing around in front. The puck sat there for a moment, and Čáslava plays it away. Now the play is called offside at the Czech line.
Zadovich was in the right place to receive the pass from Kovács. His 4th goal of the tournament. And Kovács, after stick handling like crazy into the middle of the Swiss defense, lost the puck, went and got it back, and then found Zadovich coming off the bench, and his shot spins up over the shoulder of Reto Berra.
Jordan through center ice for Cervenka, trying to poke that ahead. Now Cervenka gets it back. Swings back as Sobotka was offside. Voracek now for Krejcik. Krejcik shoots from a sharp angle. He puts that wide. Zadovich played for Togliatti in the KHL this year. Scored 12 times in 58 games for them. There are more Czechs playing on this team in the KHL than the Czech League. Voracek shoots, it bounces wide. Cervenka back on it. Cervenka, the former Calgary Flame, tied up there by Ambul. In Ostrava, still 1-1 between the Russians and the Finns in the 3rd period. 13.5 to go in that game. They're a bit behind this one. So the 2-3 quarterfinal matchup still not set at this World Championship. The final games of the preliminary round being played. Kolář with a rolling puck, plays it down. Gehring on it now. Tomáš Hertl. And the puck stripped away by Romy. And now racing back is Hertl. Shots on goal are 25-22 Switzerland overall. The rink wide pass goes to Irat. Irat swings it across to Novotny. Novotny shoots, pad save by Berra on the rebound, cleared away by Surya. Race for it now. Brunner comes in. Damian Brunner. Poke check expertly there by Kolář. Now Kovács up ahead for Simone with a shot that deflects wide off the skate of Roman Josi. Simone on it. Plays it back down the centering pass to Kovács with a shot at Berra. Makes the stop on in. 1-1 the score here in the 3rd period. Just over 6.5 to go here in the 3rd period. Gord Little, Ray Ferraro here on this Tuesday night in Prague. Ray working his first triple header as a hockey analyst.
I'd say my last too, Gord.
Now Kovács in and shoots. The glove save is made by Reto Berra as Ray Ferraro has made his stand.
It's a lot of hockey.
That is a lot of hockey.
I got to tell you, I got to look down every once in a while to make sure I get the right team.
Yeah.
Just, just because. But I do know that the Czechs are starting to steamroller the Swiss here, and Kovács has had a fabulous 3rd period for the Czechs. He led his team in the KHL with 66 points this year in Magnitogorsk. And you can see why here in this period he's been extremely dangerous.
He was the number 2 scorer in that league this year. Alexander Radulov led the league in scoring. Zadovich up ahead for Smolak, who feeds it down to the Swiss zone, and Josi goes back. He gets spun around. Bieber trying to lift that by Nakladal. Under 6 to go now in the 3rd period. Fiala. Now fired down to the Swiss zone. Reto Berra back to pick it up, and we've got a penalty call coming. It's against the Swiss for a cross-check.
I think it's Fiala.
Yeah, and Fiala's going to get it. He's looking around, but he's getting the penalty. Boy, he looks young. He's 18, but...
Yeah, he does. So Zadovich is going to dump the puck in, and there's a sell by Mikolash.
6'3", 203 pounds, got knocked over by an 18-year-old who might weigh 185 pounds.
That's either an ignore or call them both. But that's a tough power play for the Swiss to have to kill off.
Czechs are 0 for 5 with a man advantage. Cervenka picks it out. Sabotka. Back in the corner. Cervenka with it now. Center Sabotka with a shot, but there's a crease violation being called against Tomáš Hertl, who immediately looks down at his feet. They were in the crease.
Oh, this is great. He looks straight down. The referee's pointing to the crease. He's looking down saying, I'm not in. Well, I can see why he doesn't think he's in. I mean, almost his full heel went in. That's tight. But you know what? I'd still rather take a couple of those, Gord, as opposed to how many goals we see at home where nobody can tell one way or the other whether it's goalie interference or not.
You know, Corey Perry's overtime winner the other night against Calgary. Voracek to Nakladel. Or Cervenka, back to Nakladel. Cervenka having a look. Hertl standing in front. Here's Nakladel with it. Cervenka feeds across. Voracek walks in. Jakub Voracek got knocked away by Helbling. Timo Helbling's had a heck of a night for the Swiss. And now we got a high sticking call going against the Czechs.
It's against Hertl.
Yeah, Hertl standing in front of the goal. Is going to be called for that. So 4-on-4 coming for a minute and 10 seconds.
Two of the youngest players in the game are going to sit in the penalty box here. Tomáš Hertl, who's 21, sits in his side. 18-year-old Kevin Fiala in the other. Oh, there's the high stick as he gets a stick up on Traxler.
That is high sticking.
It's a good call. You don't have to like it, but it's a good call. As you see Traxler checking to see if he's cut.
Another face-off down in the Czech zone. 4-on-4 for a minute and 10 seconds, barring more penalties. Romy feeds it back to Bloom with a quick shot that goes wide. Chaslava on it. Peter Chaslava plays for Pardubice in the Czech league. That's Dominik Hasek's hometown. And Chaslava has it. In across the line, 4-on-4, the long shot, gloved easily by Vera, and he'll hang on, and there is the Dominator. Watching the goaltender.
How competitive is he?
Look at him. We counted one night, Ray, in Buffalo. He stopped 110 of 118 shots in the warm-up. Mike Pekka used to say, you would go weeks without scoring in practice. It was
so bad for your confidence.
It was defeating. You never scored. You had to get on early. Get the feel of a puck going in the net.
It was a big lineup at the other net, wasn't there?
Yeah. Zadovich in, shoots. That's gloved by Vera.
Zadovich didn't see a way that he could have got it to Cervenka. Cervenka was all alone behind the Swiss defense. Turnover by Traxler. You can see Cervenka at the top of your screen. He's wide open. But that shot's a muffin that Vera's going to catch. At the very least, Zadovich could have got it onto the pads. Perhaps Cervenka was going to have a rebound opportunity.
About 7.5 to go on Ostrava. Still 1-1, Russia and Finland. Alexander Barkov, the tying goal there. Nakladel with it now. Down he goes to Cervenka, back for Nakladel. It bounced off his stick. 20 seconds to go in the Swiss penalty. Then they'll have a brief power play for about 40 seconds. Cervenka works out of the corner, drops it off to Nakladel. Jakub Nakladel spins it back down, looking for Zadovich. He got knocked down. Traxler picks it up. No penalty coming. As Zadovich was taken down, and now the Swiss are on the power play for just 45 seconds. That's ringed around and sent back down to their zone as Yossi goes back. 3.5 to go in the third period. Yossi streaks ahead for the Swiss. Looks ahead for Eric Bloom in behind the goal. Heda plays it ahead to Vondrika. And here comes Vondrika across the line short-handed, trying Roman Josi.
For a guy added late to this, just his second game, Vondrika plays a lot, and he's played very well for the Czechs.
Kolář fires it down wide, 10 seconds to go in the Swiss power play. Roman Josi up for Fiala. And now Hertl steps out of the box, looks for the lead pass, just skipped away from him as Berra's out to play it. Looks across to Helbing, he pounds that down the ice. That's going to be an icing call against the Swiss. With 2:38 to go in the third period.
They're trying to get Kevin Fiala back on the ice. He was on for the icing, but he's being tended to by the trainer at the Swiss bench.
So as in the NHL, that's a permissible replacement. Allman will take the face-off against Sobotka, who takes all the big draws for the Czechs. And Allman wins that one away from him. Helbling with it. Plays it up for Shappy, chips it out as Nemitz goes back for the Czechs. 2.5 to go in the third period. Late pass for Cervenka. Roman Cervenka, long shot right on. Berra makes the stop through the traffic. And Shappy goes rink wide now for Bodenman. Simon Bodenman had that taken away as Jordan plays it around for Nemitz. Andre Nemitz through the middle for Sobotka. Up ahead for Cervenka. Roman Cervenka fires and Berra makes the glove stop with Voracek standing right in front of him.
The play almost exclusively in the Swiss zone as Cervenka gets the puck over the blue line, and he too wants to get this ideally on the goalie's pads. I mean, it's about 2 feet too high. There's no chance for a rebound. Look at the difference in the scoring chance. The previous shot is low through traffic, and Berra's just got to stop it. He can't control the rebound.
Now a scramble draw picked up by Irat for the Czechs. Under 2 to go in the third period. Martin Irat plays it back down to Kolář. The shot by Nakladal was blocked as Shappy got in the way. Tomáš Hertl battling for it. Loose in the corner. Hertl looks back. Kolář's shot was blocked. A chance now. And it bounced away from Julian Walker. Nakladal for Irat. Trying to find Hertl with it. Tomáš Hertl battles forward in the corner along with Streit. And now Walker squeezes that by Kolář, and another icing call coming against the Swiss with 1:18 to go. It was Brunner, actually, not Walker, that fired it down. Still 1-1 in Ostrava with 5 to go in the third period there. And the Russians have just taken the lead. So the Russians, with about 5 to go in the third, have grabbed the lead on Finland. If that score holds, it'll be Czech-Russia here on Thursday night. Finland will play the Swedes in Ostrava. And the winner of Czech-Russia will get the winner of Canada-Belarus in the semifinal. Now gloved down by Vondrika. And the play is offside.
Panarin, the Russian forward who has just signed with the Chicago Blackhawks with the goal to give Russia a 2-1 lead.
Been a while for the Blackhawks to give a Russian a try. Gotta go back to the Mike Smith era when he was
trying to think of the last one.
They drafted 2 in the first round one year. So 35 seconds to go here in the third period in a 1-1 tie. Here's Here's Sabotka. Walks back, shoots. Barra makes the stop and pounces on the rebound.
Good work out of the corner by Vladimir Sabotka. The Blues would love to get Sabotka back in St. Louis. He played this year in the KHL after a contract dispute. Oh, there was room on the short side. He just didn't get it up high enough and close to the point. Look at how Barra's body has started to turn. It's not square to the puck. Sabotka knows there was room there. If Sabotka determines he wants to come back to the NHL, he's under contract to the Blues.
That arbitration award, right?
So he would head to St. Louis if that's indeed what is decided when this is over.
Kolash. Plays out ahead for Irat. That was knocked away. Bouncing puck in the slot for Hurdle. Could get a shot away. Dying seconds now of the period. Gehring plays it out. And the Czechs and Swiss are going to overtime. Fourth time the Swiss have gone to OT in the round robin. Second time for the Czechs. First time for them since their opener against Sweden.
It doesn't.
Well, news from Ostrava as we wait for the outcome of the overtime here. Leo Donskoy, or Jonas Donskoy rather, has scored for Finland. Late stages there, about 2 to go. A tie game now, 2-2 Finland and Russia. So on to overtime here. These two teams know what position they're going to finish in, and the Swiss know they're playing the Americans in the quarters on Thursday. The Czechs are waiting for news from Ostrava. Here's a chance for Roman Josi. Spins it back for Bloom. Eric Bloom comes in. Poke check there by Kukal. And Nakladel has it back for the Czechs. Plays it around for Kolash. That's stolen away. A poke check there by Havlik on Bodenman. Kukal takes that return pass from Zadovic. And that shot goes wide off the bench. Comes Voracek with it. Jakub Voracek. Works it around, sends it back to Michael Jordan with a drive. A bullet shot goes wide. Krajcek. Works it down low. Jakub Krajcek. Side of the goal, can't get a shot away. Krajcek still with it. Jordan across to Cervenka. And Jordan gathers it back up. 3:45 to go in the overtime. Voracek. Voracek. Got spun around. Jordan with it. Long possession here for the Czechs as Jordan spins back. Plays it back to Krajcek. Across it goes for Cervenka. To Krajcek. Feeds across to Jordan.
But the possession is 50 feet from the net. They don't attack the net.
Voracek with it. Finns and Russians are going to overtime in Ostrava. In comes Voracek. A backhand shot and just missed high and wide. And we've got a slashing call going against the Swiss. And I believe it's Strike, the captain, will go out.
Swiss got called on a really tight call in overtime against the Swedes. Mark Streit with the slash on the arm of his teammate Voracek. And so a 4-on-3 power play. Surprised Vladimir Ruzicka's not used this timeout here.
Yeah.
Voracek's just been on the ice for a minute and a bit. Now he goes back on for the 4-on-3.
Czechs are 0 for 6 in the power play tonight. Kovac. Batting a tractor off that face-off. Is knocked down by Sabotka. Rings it around for Voracek. Plays it there for Nakladel. Lots of room now on this Czech power play. Voracek feeds down Sabotka. Voracek. McCladel. No one in front. Kovac swings it back across to Voracek. That pass skipped away from him. Near the corner goes for Saboka. Glove down by Grossman, and Helbling, who has been heroic on defense for the Swiss tonight, pounds it down the ice.
And Voracek comes off the ice after 30 seconds. That's where the timeout really could have been of some use for them.
Krajicek ahead for Saboka. Spins it back. That's picked up by Kovac. Kovac trying to feed that back. It's picked off by Gearing. He's got a chance with Brunner shorthanded. In comes Patrick Gearing. Walks it and shoots. Save made by Pavlik. And the rebound cleaned up by Andre Nemeth.
Really good play by Patrick Gearing, not only to intercept it, but to aggressively turn up ice and create a scoring chance.
Back of the line, Krajicek for Cervenka. Back to Krajicek, across to Nemeth. Back to Krajicek. Nemeth winds back across the top. Still with it, has a look and shoots. It dribbles down in front. Kovac plays it across. Krajicek's shot was blocked by Helbling back out there, and Helbling got in the way and knocked it down.
Helbling's blocked a half a dozen shots in the last 10 minutes of game time. It's like a backboard.
In comes Novotny along with Cervenka. Final seconds of the power play. Jordan with it. Michael Jordan to Krajicek. Back to Jordan. Feeds across to Novotny. Jordan winds and shoots a soft shot, knocked away by Helbling. He fires it down the ice, and Streit is back on for the Swiss.
It's hard not to get a shot on a 4-on-3. The Czechs didn't have any.
And they're 0 for 7 now on the power play. Now Fiala feeds ahead to Surrey. Surrey comes in and shoots. It's off the stick of Jordan, up and out of play. 49 seconds left to go in OT. A shootout looming here in Prague.
Really good work by the Swiss on the penalty kill, aided by the fact that the Czechs just continued to keep the puck to the outside. Never once did it get into the middle of the ice. And I really thought they should have used their timeout at the start of that 4-on-3 power play. Get Voracek some rest. He had to come off after 30 seconds. Never went back on the ice.
Draw won by Tomáš Hertl.
What do you save it for? Can't use it now.
40 seconds to go here in the overtime period. Irat drops it back. In comes Hertl with a dash. Tomáš Hertl wraps it around, shoots, and Barrett got the left pad over and made the save with his toe. Ambule ahead for Streit. Streit drops. Brunner in a rolling puck, shoots, and Pavlik got just a piece of that. And with 19 seconds to go, the puck goes up and out.
Yeah, the puck went up on edge for Brunner, and he's got a good shot anyway. And just when he goes to shoot it, look at it, spring. And this is a wobbling shot that Pavlik just gets a touch on. Here's Hertl's dash up the ice moments before. Tries to go around the back of the net. Czechs could probably use Jaromír Jágr if this thing goes to a shootout. I wonder if you can throw him in a sweatsuit and get him out there.
He's eligible. He's in the lineup. I think you have to wear a uniform.
You can't just get the sweats on.
No. You can't wear your suit and go out there.
So a big face-off to the right of Andre Pavlik.
Jaroslav Spacek, the longtime NHL defenseman, assistant coach of Vladimir Ruzicka.
Oh, did he have a run when Edmonton went to the finals?
That guy was 200 pounds of Czech gristle.
Run into him a few times, and there's not much movement.
For him.
For him, oh, he's not going anywhere. A good draw.
Another win by Novotny, fed down by the Czechs. Icing waved off as Josi goes back. Final seconds now, Josi plays it across to Traxler. And Ray, your second shootout in 3 games today. Congratulations. It's a triple header plus.
After a while, you're here this long. What does it matter?
What difference does it make?
Bonus hockey it is. Here's the shootout.
And the Finns and Russia in overtime as well. We'll keep you updated when we come back.
Do you have
shootout coming here in Prague. 2 minutes to go in overtime in Ostrava between the Finns and the Russians. And the winner of that game will get the Czechs in the quarters on Thursday. The loser plays Sweden. And again, the Czechs will stay here in Prague as the host nation. So the Swedes, despite finishing second in their group, will have to travel to Ostrava for their quarterfinal game on Thursday. Canada will stay here, play Belarus. Switzerland will play the U.S. And Hanlon talking to Eric Bloom. Hanlon's been a long-time international coach. He coached Belarus twice, 4 world championships for them, 2 with the Slovaks.
Kevin Fiala will be the first shooter for the Swiss, the 18-year-old.
So again, it's 3 rounds. If it's still tied, the shooting order changes, and then you can use any player as often as you want.
Fiala's a pretty shifty player. He can get in tight to the goaltender and make a pretty sharp east-west move.
In comes Fiala, scores!
Wow, was that calm. That move down the right, and it's a push off the inside of the right edge. There, changed the angle, and a perfect delivery past Ondrej Pavlik.
Shooting now for the Czechs. Voracek, score! Whoa! He got Berra down, got his stick out of his hands. Got to pick his pocket on the way by.
Berra's going to cover the bottom of the net. Voracek goes up over top of him and then runs into Berra. Voracek's going to go and check on Reto Berra down by the net. Beautiful move by Jakub Voracek as he gets it up to the roof past Reto Berra.
Anders Ambul will shoot now for the Swiss. Playing in his 12th World Championship. Anders Ambul stopped by Pavlik.
I don't think he got this up as high as he would like to. Pavlik, good read. Hasek approves. And now the nifty Jan Kovács will go for the Czechs.
And to put the Czechs ahead. Jan Kovács stopped by Berra, just.
I don't think going through the legs is going to work on Berra. He gets his paddle down flat when you try to deke him. We saw it a couple of times in the opening frame when the Czechs were in tight. Look at Berra. He goes across. Paddle stays flat.
Look at this. The shooter is Roman Lopo, just joined the Swiss team.
He was in Dubai last week.
Goes in, and he's stopped by Pavlik.
Literally in Dubai. He was on vacation after being initially cut. They brought him back with a couple of injuries. He tries to go through Pavlik's legs.
So now the Czechs can win it. And they turn to Michael Vondrika, who is also just added. He's played 2 games for the Czech, counting tonight. So Vondrika with a chance to win it now for the Czechs. And he comes, scores just like that. And the Czechs win it by a final score of 2-1 in the shootout. They finished with 5 wins, a loss, and a shootout loss. And now it's on to the quarterfinals with an opponent yet to be determined. The Russians and Finns are going to a shootout in Ostrava. Next up for the Czechs and the Swiss, the medal round at the 2015 World Hockey Championship.
That's the kind of day it's been around here. Czechs win in a shootout. Opponent to be determined. First win for the Czechs over the Swiss since 2008.
Great win by the Czechs in front of their home crowd. I love it when showing the Dominator after every save by Pavlik. You go to Dominic Hasek. That was great.
We are awaiting the shootout now between Russia and Finland. We're going to take you there in just a moment. The winner of this game will play the Czechs. The loser will play the Swedes. So the final two games are both shootouts.
I'm not really sure coming into this one if you want to go to Prague to play the Czechs with the crowd, the home crowd, the World Championship in the quarterfinal. You might see all these shooters come in and shoot high and wide because they would rather stay in Ostrava than travel to Prague, because that is going to be a hostile environment. That crowd is energetic, 17,000 strong, cheering for the home team. It'd be interesting. That's why we might have thought that the Russians may have played a little soft and allowed Finland to go, and Russia could avoid the Czechs and the home crowd. But that's not the case. Both teams going at it.
Obviously not. So two brackets are complete. Canada playing Belarus on Thursday in the quarterfinals, and the United States playing Switzerland. Here are the scores from today. The United States overtime winner from Jack Eichel. Canada 10-1 over Austria, and now we just wait. Now look at that score. France over Latvia today. That was in a shootout. France avoided relegation. Latvia avoided relegation. Austria got relegated. And now we just await this final game of the round robin. Maybe this is a precursor to what we're going to see on Thursday at the quarterfinals. Can it get any closer? Another shootout to Finland and to Russia.